Hi everyone, I'm Wendy, and today I'm showing you how to make a quinoa flatbread. This is a great alternative if you're looking for a whole food bread option for sandwiches and wraps, or if you need a gluten-free alternative. I'll start by rinsing 1 cup of quinoa very well. You can use any variety of quinoa, but it will of course affect the color of your flatbread. Then I like to soak my quinoa overnight, but if you're in a hurry, it'll work with unsoaked quinoa as well. If you are soaking overnight, just make sure there's enough water so the quinoa has room to expand while remaining submerged under the water. Then you'll drain off the soaking water and rinse the quinoa again. Next, add the quinoa along with 1 cup of water to a high-speed blender and blend until the quinoa is completely pulverized. It should be a bit thinner than pancake batter, but not so thin that it won't hold its shape at all. At this point, you could also add seasonings if you like. For a savory flatbread, you could add things like Italian seasoning or curry powder, or any seasoning blend that you like. Or for a sweet flatbread, you could add apple pie spice or pumpkin pie spice, or just some cinnamon. You can get creative and do something different every time you make it. If you're adding seasonings, I would add them in after you've blended it and just pulse it a couple times to incorporate the spices. Next, there are a couple options for how you can cook your flatbread. You could use a non-stick skillet and simply pour a little bit of the batter into the preheated skillet and cook it until it's fully cooked through. I don't like this method because you may only be able to cook 1 or 2 at a time depending on the size of your skillet. Plus, you have to babysit it and watch the skillet, which takes more time and attention. Instead, I prefer the hands-off option of baking the flatbread. I like to use 2 rimmed baking sheets with parchment paper or a silicone mat. Then I divide the batter evenly between the 2 pans, spreading it out using a spatula to about 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. With parchment paper, it will ripple a little bit, so some areas may become thinner than others, but try to get it as even as you can. Bake this at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 to 25 minutes, making sure that the center of the flatbread is fully cooked through. The edges may start to get crispy, but overall, the flatbread should still be flexible. Allow it to cool and then cut it into whatever size flatbread you like and peel it from the parchment paper. I like to cut it into squares that I can use like a sandwich bread, and then I spread hummus on it and top it with lots of veggies. If you prefer, you could also turn this into crackers and dip it in hummus or other bean dips. To make crackers, after you've baked the flatbread for the 20 to 25 minutes, you'll cut it into 1.5 to 2 inch crackers. Spread the pieces out on the sheet pan and put it back in the oven, baking these for about 5 to 10 minutes, but keep an eye on it because they can burn quickly. You'll want to pull them out as soon as they start to turn brown. If you're not a fan of quinoa, you can also use the same basic method using red lentils or rolled oats. Red lentils will need to be soaked first, but rolled oats do not. And with each version, you'll still use about 1 to 1.5 cups of water. Again, you're just looking for that consistency that's a bit thinner than pancake batter. These flatbreads are a fantastic alternative to traditional breads that are full of oil, salt, sugar, and other additives. Plus, they're all gluten-free. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried making these kind of flatbreads and what you think of them. And if not, I hope you'll give them a try. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.